I started this NFT project, in no small part due to the inspiration I got from that experience, helping a little bit of help for the sea turtles. I did see a full nest of sea turtles from beginning to end. The gestation period is for most species is about 90 days. So I buried a whole bunch or protected a whole bunch of nests, but there was one nest. It was like literally my last day or second to last day before I was leaving. And the first nest we buried, all the sea turtles came up and they're like in boxes with a fence or grate over it to protect them from birds and other predators. At first, like group of sea turtles, so there are 40 of them in this little box running around. You pick up the box and they all just like beeline to the ocean. So that's part of the inspiration that got me to Seabums. But it's a good jumping off point and a good first question.
Sure enough, my man. I don't know. I knew that's the answer you were gonna get. I don't know what more I could ask. Like, who is Chris Madden? What brought him here, man? And I appreciate that so much. And maybe you're dropping a little bit of alpha there, picking a box up with turtles running to the sea. I don't know. Before I stumble over my feet, I don't know, because me and this guy connect on the back end here. So I know maybe a thing or two y'all don't know out there. Who knows? Might be
there could be some future plans that will make a lot of sense to people in a few months if they remember that story and maybe see some of the things that Seabums does next.
I love that. All right. So we heard you came back, you got into digital marketing, went back, and you kind of were having this idea of these NFTs and how do I get involved in this NFTs? And you really didn't mention it, but you were already doing some beach cleanup in Costa Rica, right? And you already kind of taking care of the sea turtles and you already kind of had that mentality. Now, how did you meet Mr. Nate Azark, the artist behind the Seabums NFT collection, and kind of what started you guys down the path of like, yeah, let's bring this to market?
So Nate and I have a very close mutual friend in common. His name is Tom Malloy. He grew up on the south side of Chicago with me, and we went to grammar school and high school together. And he was a year older than me, so we were buddies, but not best friends. And when I started considering moving to Costa Rica, when I lived there full time for a few years, I found out through the grapevine that Tom lived down there, and Tom and I reconnected, and our friendship like extremely blossomed in the years that I lived there. I mean, we were joined at the hip. And so Nate and Tom are super close friends. Tom is an amazing connector of people. When I moved back to Chicago, after a bunch of other things that happened, including living in New York City, when I moved back to Chicago, I started an advertising agency, so digital marketing, and it started as digital marketing, and we're now like more clearly focused on the advertising piece of that space. And Tom kept saying to me, man, you got to meet my friend Nate. You got to meet my friend Nate. Got to meet over and over. I mean, it's probably years he was telling me to meet Nate. So Nate and Tom and I finally go out to lunch one day. I remember feeling bad because I left the office and we were like drinking wine at lunch, and I have employees back at work, and I'm like, I am the boss, but I'm also feeling bad because I left the office and not going back. But those glasses of wine that we stole greatly paid off in lots of ways, because Nate has a design agency, and Nate went to college and studied design with the person who now is one of the head designers at Lending Tree. So Nate referred Lending Tree to us, and Lending Tree became one of our great clients and was a big breakthrough and growing moment for us as an agency. I'm so grateful that I was able to return the favorites, and Nate send some clients back his way. So Nate and I started a working friendship, and I was just very aware of how great he was at art. One of the referrals I was happy and lucky to make for him was the Chicago Cubs ownership was our client. You were just talking about sports and NFTs, and I got some angles on that. But I'm a White Sox fan. I'm a White Sox fan, but that did not come up in our earliest meetings with the Cubs. And the Cubs at the time were just opening up Gallagher Way, which is this entertainment district around Wrigley Field. And so we help promote the hotel. They do yoga classes, movies in the park. There's bars and restaurants. So we promoted everything that was going on there. And with all the work that they were doing, there's a lot of construction. So I had this construction fencing, and my guy, the contact there at the club, said, do you know anybody that can help us paint this construction fence? I said, I know just the guy. So Nate is a Cubs fan, and Nate went and did that. And even like this is maybe 4 years ago, and Nate has continued. Even just last year, he did some work at Gallagher Way. Nate works with the Milwaukee Bucks, et cetera, et cetera. So Nate and I were friends, and we were at a very fruitful mutual relationship of sending each other business, and lots of common interests, and we're like the exact same age and got kids the same. It was just like we're very very well aligned and good friends. And because I was exposed to Nate's art in lots of ways and thought it was amazing, ultimately, you said I've been buying crypto since Satoshi, and that's a little bit of an exaggeration. It's been maybe 6 or 7 years since I first bought Bitcoin, and I bought ETH right after that, and feel lucky. And I just kept buying, and I became pretty obsessed and went down the rabbit hole. And it was just like a personal interest, although my company did buy some as well. It was a personal interest, and I started my first NFT project was like right after CryptoKitties, and we were just trying to connect charities to NFTs. So we were making they look like baseball cards. And so we made one and we started reaching out to like Chef Jose Andres and these other like charitable celebrities. And we'd say, hey, we're going to here, this is what an NFT is. We're going to auction it off and give it to a charity of your choice. It's a way for you to raise money. And nobody responded or knew what the hell we were talking about. Although I would say that Chef Jose Andres' people did respond, and they just said, sorry, this sounds interesting, but we got to keep our focus on ideas that are more closely aligned with the mission. So a couple of years passed, that was in the depths of a crypto bear market, like the post-ICO Ethereum, that bear market of 2018, 2019. And so I put that ideas on mothballs, like many business ideas I've had and attempted. Build some landing pages, build a little brand, get some things going. And a year later, there's nothing there anymore. But it was a good learning experience. And it was just this idea of charity and NFTs and charity and crypto that I still am kicking around a whole bunch. And so that's how Nate and I met. But Nate and I getting to this project was a real light bulb moment for me, because I had another side project that you somewhat alluded to, which was around doing cleanups. And they could be beaches, but they could be really anywhere anybody was. And this was pre-pandemic, 2018, 2019. We call them $50 cleanups, because we'd give people $50 to go spend 2 to 3 hours cleaning up something around them. And, they'd take the before and after pictures, and we'd want to see how much garbage they cleaned up. And it was really cool. And as you might imagine, a lot of people were excited about it. It went well fast. Pandemic happened, and it all ground to a halt. Nobody's going outside. Asking people during the beginning of all that fear to go outside and pick up garbage wasn't working. So, and our deal was to have NFTs on the back end of that. That'd be like, Colt, you went out and did this amazing thing, and you cleaned up 25 pounds of trash, and there's 1,000 cigarette butts. And we thought that the NFT could be a certificate of completion almost, with the stats and pictures of what you did. Sure. But again, post-pandemic, we tried to restart that, didn't go anywhere. So I'm still kicking around these ideas, and they're very top of mind. I'm listening to podcasts all the time. So I'm listening to podcasts with this guy, Kevin Owocki, who's the founder of Gitcoin, on Bankless, which is one of my favorite podcasts. And as I'm listening to him talk about NFTs and charity and all the things that Gitcoin does, which is a lot of grants, I was like, Nate, oh my God, Nate. And I literally took off the podcast, texted Nate, said, do you want to do an NFT project with me? This is in September 2021 last year. And Nate said, yes. And so we went to a Bulls game that next night. It was the first Bulls preseason game, so we can get the exact date of when this was. And we right then were like, okay, charity is meaning the first text. We were like, we're going to give a lot of money to charity. And so in that first Bulls game, we picked the ocean, and therefore, fish characters and all those things. And that's how it all started.